When I came in this shit, I might earn my special like Tabby little bitch. Straight up the rip, on my layers on drip.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the UFC 4 patch 7.0 overview. As we know, this patch dropped today, added a lot of new gameplay changes, new moves, animations, and of course, a lot of y'all know, added motivated McGregor into the game. So we'll go ahead and get right into that. We can go ahead and go over the motivated McGregor, and rather than just making this completely OP, they kind of balanced them out with. They have both Conor McGregors in the 145 class now, so they have it's technically the UFC 187 McGregor and the current McGregor. Here are all the changes they made. So the UFC 187 McGregor has +2 blocking, -1 head movement, +2 takedown defense, +2 kick power, -3 chin, -1 body, -2 legs, and +4 recovery. So everything else is the same. Those are the only changes. I went ahead and highlighted the ones I thought were important. Overall, this is kind of a tit for tat. It's not like crazy OP. I'm not even sure if it's better than the old McGregor because the +2 kick power and +4 recovery will help, but that -3 chin is also going to hurt a lot. So, only time will tell which one gets more plays in the featherweight. You guys can go ahead and tell me which one y'all be using because I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. I'm a Conor McGregor user when it comes to the featherweight and lightweight classes, so I'll have to find out which one I like better. But those are the stat changes. And moving on, we have some more new characters added to the game. Of course, they returned with Isaac Frost and Andre Bishop, which, every time Isaac Frost gets added to the game, he go ahead and ruins the heavyweight class because everyone chooses him and Ngannou for every matchup. So, he's 6'7" with 99 kick power. They also added Andre Bishop, which is he's 6 foot tall. He's more of a quick striking. I believe his hit power is about 4-star, but his movement, his speed, all that's all 5-star. So who's more of your quick striker. Isaac Frost more your power striker. And then in the light heavyweight class, they added Jiri Pajakasa. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I didn't look him up. Apparently, he's the 5th ranked light heavyweight boxer or UFC fighter. But he is mostly a boxer and counter striker, kind of like a Chuck Liddell type fighter, except his chin's a little bit worse and his head movement and all that's a little bit better. So if you're more of a counter striker and you like to fight in light heavyweight, if you use Chuck Liddell, you might want to try this guy out. Might be a good replacement. Other than that, though, he's not going to replace the John Jones and DC and those guys from the top of the weight class. We're going to go ahead and move on to the gameplay changes now. First, the biggest thing you'll notice is the calf kick. So now instead of hitting, if you tap A for a leg kick, it's now a calf kick. So the calf kick basically is like a quicker but less powerful leg kick. It's mostly used for like disrupting strikes. If someone's throwing crazy hooks and you can just tap them with that kick, it'll make them back up. Kind of create sort of a stun animation. However, you can still do the old leg kicks. All you have to do is hold the button down now rather than tap it. So yeah, that's it for the calf kicks. Moving on, there's been some damage reductions. So overall, when it says this, it says that head roundhouse kick bleed through has been cut from 20% to 10%. Basically, what that means is, one of the most common combos in the game is the 1-2 head kick, and a lot of times that will stun your opponent. Now it's going to be less of that. It's going to be less damaging than it has been. Also, in that vein, the clinch knees have received a bleed through reduction and a damage reduction overall. So essentially, if you're in the clinch and you're holding right trigger and then he goes for a head kick or a head knee, it will do less damage, basically none. And then along with the damage reduction, the crucifix strike damage has been reduced by 25%. So that helps a lot because, basically, if anyone's a ground fighter in this game, they're going to put you in crucifix, or at least they're going to try their best. And if they get you there, it's like hell. You're basically done. It's really hard to escape someone that's good at wrestling and they put you in a crucifix. So this should help a little bit. We'll see how much of a difference it really makes. Moving on, so the stamina has been tweaked a lot. That's probably the biggest thing you'll notice in this update is the stamina reductions. So basically how it's been changed is that for the heavier weight classes, the stamina cost will be less than it has been. In the lighter weight classes, it'll be more of a penalty. So, for example, bantamweight, before they could strike forever and they would barely lose any stamina. Now that's been changed a little bit. They will have more of a penalty, while the heavier weight classes will have a reduction. Also, what they've done is that so your stamina recovery, if you already have, like, let's say 3/4 stamina, to get it all the way max, the time for that's gonna take longer. And overall, what they said in the patch notes is that the stamina has been tuned to benefit those who have a slower and more methodical playstyle. So essentially, more the Nate Diaz's and the precise strikers rather than the guys that are just out there throwing and throwing and throwing and missing. Uh, so that should be good because that's how a lot of the guys play in this game, just spamming hooks and all types of shit. Moving on here, this is the everything else that was included. So if you remember, and I believe it was the last patch or maybe a few patches ago, they added the muscle modifier, which is where if you hold RB to while you're making a transition, it'll make it really quickly. Now instead of that being used on all transitions, it only works on get ups and then sweeps from sprawl. So it's more the UFC 3 style of the RB muscle modifier. Other than that, submissions, I think this is a big thing. Submissions can be canceled now if you hit the two bumpers together. Now, I can see a lot of people using this, like, for example, if you do the arm triangle, what it'll do is you could put yourself, after like a few seconds in arm triangle, you're going to fall over into side control. You could just cancel it, and there you are in side control. So that could be beneficial. Overall, the ground transition stamina cost has been increased by 50%. Now, when it says permanent stamina cost, that's not the white bar, so to speak. It's kind of like what the max can be filled to. So that's going to go down farther, which makes sense because right now, basically, if you spend the whole game on the ground, both the fighter on top and bottom, their stamina is going to be filled. So that's probably for the better. And also they decreased the block breakdown by 15%. So you hold your block longer, and then permanent body damage by 10%. So it's the same thing where if, let's say, I get hit with 3 body strikes in a row and then I wait till the next round, I don't get hit, the permanent body damage, so my body health meter is going to be a little bit higher. Also, they said it's easier to get TKO by leg kicks. It's not going to take as many kicks, which makes sense because if you ever played this game and got someone's leg hurt, basically you're going to sit there and knock them down for about 40 minutes before they finally decide to stop the fight. And then finally, chokes. On the whole, I didn't say all chokes, but it said some chokes have been buffed and some limb submissions have been nerfed. So yeah, chokes are pretty hard to achieve in this game unless you have your guy completely out of stamina, so should see more chokes. That's about it, though, for the patch 7. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.
This is vintage from 1980 some. I'm the son of the pioneer that got you near the sun.